Hi there. So in this video, I'm not going to derive the formula for the combinations formula for combinatorics, but I am going to show you how to use it and kind of what it's attempting to do. So I have a whole bunch of pens here, and there's 8 of them. Suppose I wanted to pick a group of 3. Well, I could just take these 3, or I could just take these 3, or I could just take these 3 again. But I hope you'll notice that when I took these 3 pens, regardless of whether I took the purple pen first or the orange pen first, really it was the same group of pens that I had. And it was the same group of pens that remained. So with combinations, it's important to notice that order is not important. If you are concerned about order, then what you need is permutations, because that would then say, well, how many different ways and how many positions can I assign for numbers if I pick? So combinations are essentially, suppose you had n elements in a group, like 8 pens, and you wanted to pick 3 of them. How many ways could you do that? How many unique combinations of this are there? And again, order is not important. So suppose I had 10 things and I wanted 4. The way I use this formula is this is n factorial, so the number of elements in the group factorial, divided by the number of elements you're selecting factorial. And that removes the order. So dividing by r factorial removes order. Because when you pick things, essentially you're picking them in an ordered fashion. And so we have to divide to make a smaller number of things, because the pink, blue, and orange pen and the orange, blue, and pink pen are the same combination, so there's going to be less of those things. So we'll have to divide to remove that order. And then n minus r is talking about getting rid of all of the ones that you're not picking. So it's how many different ways can you select things, all of them, dividing out the order and dividing out the ones that you're not selecting. So we have 10 elements. We're going to pick all of them, but we're going to get rid of the order of 4 that remain, and we're going to get rid of the 6 that are gone as well. Now, this 10 minus 4 factorial, I'm just realizing right now that I have my brackets in the wrong spot. So that should be the factorial sign on the outside. And that's important because when we simplify, this is going to be 4 factorial over 6 factorial. These are going to be quite large numbers, but there's an easy way to deal with this. I can write 10 factorial as 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 factorial. And that should provide some insight as to how I'm going to do this calculation by hand. Notice this 6 factorial and this 6 factorial. I've got one in the numerator and one in the denominator, so they'll cancel. Now, I could continue and just multiply 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 and then divide it by 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, but that's a lot of work. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to write it as 10 times 9 times 8 times 7. And I'm going to break up 4 factorial into 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Now 4 times 2 is 8. So I can cancel those out. And 3 goes into 9 3 times. So I now have 10 times 3 times 7. That's an easy thing to calculate. That's 210. So how many different ways can I pick 4 things from a group of 10? Well, I can do that 210 different ways.